Good evening, I'm Karen Sullivan, publisher of Orenda Books, and this is Orenda Books at Bedtime. Tonight we're travelling to Norway, and we're going to hear from the amazing Agnes Ravatn, Norwegian author of some acclaim. We published her English debut, The Bread Tribunal, one of the first books that we published at Orenda Books, and it went on to massive acclaim. It was an English Pen Translation Award winner. It was a W.H. Smith Fresh Talent, shortlisted for the Dublin Literary Award, shortlisted for the Patrona Award, and on and on. And it just hasn't stopped selling. We called her the Norwegian Rebecca, but she's back after a long delay. This is 4 years later, and she's back with The Seven Doors, which is already picking up the same type of press that the first one got. She's an extraordinary writer. She writes in New Norwegian, which is a poetic language in Norway. This book is translated by Rosie Hedger, and she does the most exquisite job of translating our books. She also translates Helga Flatland. But this is an incredible book. I'm going to tell you what it's about. So, university professor Nina is at a turning point. Her work seems increasingly irrelevant. Her doctor husband is never home. Relations with her difficult daughter are strained, and their beautiful house is scheduled for demolition. When her daughter decides to move into another house they own, things take a very dark turn. The young woman living there disappears, leaving her son behind the day after Nina and her daughter pay a visit. With few clues, the police inquiry soon grinds to a halt, but Nina has an inexplicable sense of guilt. Unable to rest, she begins her own investigation, but as she pulls on the threads of the case, it seems her discoveries may have devastating consequences for her and her family. This is a dark, creepy psychological thriller, and The Times has compared Agnes to Agatha Christie at her very best. So we're going to go over to Norway now and over to Agnes. Agnes.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for having me. My name is Agnes Ravatn, and my new book, The Seven Doors, is out now. And I am really happy about the reception so far. So I'm just going to read a small excerpt for you, and hopefully some of you would like to hear more. She should go to sleep, really. Mats is breathing heavily beside her, but she can't put her phone down. She refreshes her search over and over again, checks every news outlet, but there's nothing new about the disappearance. She mulls over the confrontation again and again, combing her memory for details, anything that might shed some light on what's happened. She wakes in the middle of the night, possibly due to Mats's snoring, but possibly after dreaming about machines preparing to tear down the house while she and Mats are sitting at the dinner table, a bulldozer suddenly crashing in through the kitchen cupboard. Her eyes open instantly, and all of a sudden, it hits her. She grabs her phone and types it into the search bar. It's her. That's it. Several images glow brightly on the screen. Nina can hear the sound of her own heartbeat. Mari Bull. She begins scrolling through the endless list of results, numerous photos of various kinds, with and without her violin, some action shots of her with the orchestra, a number of portraits, a record cover showing Mari Bull alone in a field of rapeseed. The results are mostly from Norway and Germany. Concert write-ups, the odd interview. It's her. And she's been living in Aunt Lena's dusty old house, crammed full of furniture. Nina turns to Mats. He's fast asleep. She can't wake him over this. She wakes him anyway. She elbows him in the side twice, and he grunts and turns to face her, opening his eyes, looking for answers. Mari Bull, she says. Huh? It's Mari Bull. He looks at her, confused. What are you talking about? Mari Nilsen is Mari Bull. He pulls himself up onto his elbows, open-mouthed as he looks at her. Bloody hell, he says slowly. I'm right, aren't I? You are, he says, as it dawns on him too. We've seen her perform. At Grieg Hall, she says. The Brahms violin concerto, he says. I thought there was something familiar about her. Me too. What happened to her, he asks. Well, that's exactly what we don't know, Nina says. No, but I mean, where did she disappear to? That's the whole point, she says, vexed. Not like that, Mats said. I mean, she was such a gifted performer. Yes, she says. But then everything went quiet, he says. Yes. And now she's disappeared all over again. That's it. Thank you again, and see you. Bye.
Thank you so much. It's so good to see Agnes after all this time. You may have seen her at Bloody Scotland Festival, actually, when her debut came out. But since then, she's done Edinburgh once and we haven't seen her, and we're looking forward to getting over to these shores when we can. But in the meantime, there will be an interview with her on Zoom, a Zoom launch. Michael J. Malone will be interviewing her, and Rosie Hadger, her translator, on the 23rd of September. And if you check out our website, you'll see details of how to book your place. We're so looking forward to getting this amazing book out there. It's out on the 17th of September. And it's incredible. So thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week for another episode of Orenda Books at Bedtime.